Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, another spooky movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's fallen in love with a girl they just met for the first time that's supposed to be super evil with me tonight?
This is Joe Butler, and I may be 30 here, but in the movie version, I'm 17 and hot.
Hi, everybody. It's Kenneth Sanity, talking in an accent because I've given the fuck up on life.
Hey, it's Chelsea, aka Tyrant Cheeks. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter, please.
Thank you.
And this is Blair Farrell from comicbookvideogames.com. And I don't want to wait for my life to be over. I want to go to town and save Sean Bean.
What the fuck? What the
God
fuck?
damn it. Blair wins that opening this week, too.
That was a great opening for all of them. That was great. Oh, that was fucking hilarious, this whole thing. All right. And we are here to talk about a comedy. And just kidding. Well, I enjoyed it. It was funny to me at times. But, Silent Hill Revelation, because you guys convinced me to watch it.
Yes, everybody, please never underestimate the power of bullying, because that's how we got here. And with this, we are finishing a film series for goddamn once.
Or are we?
It is finished for now.
Yeah, who knows with the strike.
Well, even then, like, the third one ain't going to be out for a couple of years, I'm assuming.
Well, it's supposed to be out next March.
Oh, it ain't going to be out next March. But for now, the series is finished. Yeah, I haven't finished many film series. I'm actually about to wrap up another one later this year, but I haven't finished a whole lot.
So we all gathered here today to watch the infamous sequel, Silent Hill Revelations. Sequel to Silent Hill that came out in what year?
This is 2012. The other one was 2006.
Okay, 6-year difference, which is kind of long for a sequel.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, because I was watching this, I watched it last Sunday, and I was contextualizing State of Silent Hill at the first movie, and then State of Silent Hill at the second movie. Because when the first one came out, there wasn't an American Silent Hill game. It was just One Through the Room. And by 2012, it was Homecoming, Downpour, the HD collection, possibly Book of Memories.
I think Book of Memories was a little later, but...
So one thing that I wanted to bring up too as well with this movie, we did a previous recording for the second CGI Resident Evil movie.
Which is already out, yes.
Yeah, and then with this one, kind of has the same thing going to where Konami has done, where they decided to release everything Silent Hill in 2012, because this was October 2012. Silent Hill HD Collection is March 20th, and Silent Hill Downcoming was March 13th.
Downcoming!
Downcoming!
Silent Hill Book of Memories was October 16th, 2012 in North America.
Oh, so they were really pushing it, huh?
I keep forgetting about that fucking game. God damn it.
Yeah, don't worry, probably won't happen anytime soon.
It's really expensive now. I actually looked at it last Sunday. I think it's up to $100.
It's because Silent Hill's coming back. If they had announced those 4 games, and if that game would be $20 on eBay.
Yeah.
But we're going to do Silent Hill Revelations, which takes place 6 years after. I think it also takes place 6 years after the original movie.
I'm pretty sure it does too.
We have a aging Sean Bean, and we have, which actually I have a really specific question about that, but we'll get to it. We have a 18-year-old Sharon.
But they renamed her Heather like it should be now.
Did they?
Yeah.
They call her both.
Yeah, they call her both. And we have her and a very mysterious, delicious-looking youngster. And what the fuck is the actor's name?
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington escaping what they believe is the police, but is actually the Order.
Pretty much
Now-
she's being hunted, and they've been moving a lot, and that's all you know. And that she's having dreams to go back to Silent Hill. And even though she has no idea what Silent Hill is because they erased her memory.
She's actually having dreams not to go back to Silent Hill.
Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah, because Dark Alessa in that opening that opening scene sucks.
I disagree.
You didn't watch it in 3D.
No, thank God.
Oh, that is your problem.
Yeah, it is.
That was
my
your form of
problem.
punishment to yourself.
Oh my God. Okay, I want to talk about the 3D real quick.
Please.
This movie was released in 3D. And thanks to Vizio's commitment to making technology that doesn't fall apart, I have had a 3D television for well over a decade now. And The PlayStation 4 plays 3D Blu-rays. So I was able to watch this in 3D, and I immediately wish that I didn't. While the movie was shot in 3D, it was not made for 3D. It was not set up to be shot in 3D. There are so many things that they look horrible in this movie. And a big part of that was because the director didn't want to shoot in 3D.
I believe that.
You mean the studio made the director do something they didn't want to do? A studio would never interfere.
Studio made the director do a lot of stuff in this movie.
I'm not surprised. Studios just
something
like
just hit me that I watched this. It's on Amazon Prime in Canada without any subscriptions. You can watch 3D movies of PlayStation VR 1, can't you?
Maybe.
That's a good question. I
wouldn't want to watch this in 3D in a freaking VR headset.
There's like 2 good scenes in this movie in not VR in 3D.
The fingers?
No, it's the scene where she's I think she's in the mall and she turns around and there's like the lying figure, the lying figure, the no arm spinning monster.
Yes.
That part's really cool because it kind of pops up out of nowhere and from like the corner of your eye. And then it's the scene where the ash is falling from the sky when she first goes to Silent Hill. That's like the only 2 good 3D scenes in this whole movie.
I will agree with that, yes.
Oh, and before we get too far into this, I do want to... So I never saw this movie before. I had never planned to see this movie until you guys convinced me to. So this is my first time seeing this. What about you, Chels? What's your history with this movie?
I seen this in the theater the day it came out. And I saw it in 3D in the theater.
I'm not surprised, actually.
Did you like it in 3D?
I mean, did I like it at all?
This movie was sure a movie.
Yeah.
This movie's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
This movie's entertaining.
Did anyone else see it in theater?
I saw it in theaters too.
See, at the time, I made the decision because the crappy job I had, things about it is that I can do it remotely. This was back in 2012, like you could work from home. So I went and lived with my parents to try and save some money. And when this is in theater, hometown, we do not have a movie theater. We had one and it burnt down. And I wanted to get in to see this, but then I think I had car trouble. So I didn't want to risk breaking down on the highway to see Silent Hill Revelation 3D. So I never caught it until it was out on video.
I didn't want to go see this in the theater, so I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I definitely would have. I mean, I saw Alone in the Dark 1 and Dungeon Siege in theater. Like, I'll go see this in theater.
Me and my sister very rarely bond over things. Or we do. We bond over very specific things, and we both bond over this. Yeah, Silent Hill happens to be one of the things. So we were both like grown adults when this movie came out. So we used our grown adult money to go see this movie.
Yeah, it's the same with my brother and I.
Yeah.
So I watched this on Amazon Prime. I paid $5 to rent it. I was like, can I buy it or should I rent it? I'm like, I don't want to buy this. So I rent. But also, like, funny thing, depending, I don't know if this will still be, well, it's probably still be, it's on YouTube. Somebody put the full movie on YouTube back in 2022, and it's still there. So I wasn't even looking for the movie. I was just looking like for a review, or something to throw on while we talk. And I found the whole fucking movie, and I'm like, okay.
Proof once and for all that nobody cares about this, even the company.
I mean, the fact that it's been there for a year, like that's not.
I wish I would have looked harder before I spent $5 to watch it on YouTube.
But the humorous part to me is that to the right of it, where it says watch on YouTube, it wants me to buy the movie. But I'm like, I don't need to buy or rent the movie. I'm watching it right now. So I find that just hilarious that somebody got away with putting the full movie on here and nobody cares.
So the second this episode is uploaded, Samuel Hedaya is going to be like, what's I forgot I even did that thing. Why is suddenly there's a blip on the radar about Silent Hill 2?
I was surprised. So I think I've said this before on the show, I probably have, but Silent Hill 3 so far is my favorite Silent Hill game. And the fact that this movie tries to remake that game in its own way makes me really appreciate this movie more. Like, I really like Heather Mason in this. I like the actress a lot. I'd never seen her before, Adelie Clemens. I know I butchered her name, but I really like her in this. Especially I liked her in the Goth Out when she's in Dark Alessa. That was like, that is awesome.
Also, her outfit's like as video game accurate as I've seen most video game outfits before. So
Once she
for
gets the
sure.
jacket as a birthday present, yes. I laughed when I saw that. I went, aha! And I pointed at the screen. I did the Leonardo, DiCaprio meme. Pointed at the screen. My wife like, what? I'm like, the jacket from the movie for the game. She's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she's wearing like 5 jackets.
She
Yeah.
is.
I think she's
Hey
wearing
man, it gets
like
cold in the north. You
a
should know.
jacket and then another flannel and then the vest and then there's like a thin hoodie under that and then it's like she has like 6 layers. She's the Joey and Friends.
They did shoot this in Ontario.
Oh, I
So-
definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely. This is shot in Canada.
So one thing I watched the beginning of this movie last night and I finished it today. So me and my husband were watching it last night, and I have a question for y'all, give or take.
Sure.
How much do you think that they pay for rent at that fucking house?
Well, this would be 2011, so not nearly what it would be now.
$400.
It can't be that. What's rent? Rent isn't that cheap then.
Well, they're also living in a shitty fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, but I lived in a shitty apartment and I paid $700.
But
Back
I
in-
I was gonna say 700.
700 good number.
Yeah, 700 price not accurate for that time.
$1.
Ken, how much do you think rent was for this weird shack of a house?
I would say, well, first off, I would say that Blair probably wins because he was the closest without going over. But I would say $500. And my question is, where do they get the money for rent? What the fuck do either of these two do for a job? They're always on the run. You can't use your real name. Where is the rent money coming from? And are they just squatting?
Oh.
I do know I've never done it, and I assume it ruins your credit because it makes you some form of freak. But that house they have in the first movie looks really expensive. So
Yes.
I assume they just continue to sell the house and then buy a new one, to which now they can only afford like a 2-bedroom half house.
I mean, the house, if you sold it, but then again, he was running pretty quickly.
Yeah, like he doesn't really have the time to sit and wait for the market to settle.
The order was hunting them like right away from the way it sounds.
Yeah, okay. And that's part of my problem with this movie, because fucking how?
Yeah, and I was going to ask the same thing because I know they said they were moving around, but like also a weird thought I had, because when they talk about how like people can move about, how long were they in school and did they ever have to go to gym class?
Well, okay.
What do you mean?
Because like, it shows how it had a little like how Kit Harington got out. He takes off his shirt and it's basically just like the giant save point symbol. And it's like, I gotta go to gym. It's like, oh, I need an exemption. It's like, I can't take off my shirt for medical reasons.
Goes inside
No,
the
it'd be
every time.
religious reasons.
What I think is a really also weird like slap in the face for this movie is you have the first movie where it is whatever Sean Bean's original name is in the movie, and then you have his wife Rose and then their daughter Sharon. None of the original names, but in Revelations they go by the game names for some fucking reason, and it's just like generally fucking upsetting for me.
I like it. I like that they found a way to fix it. They went, well, we're on the run, so we got to change our names. It's more of the producer being like, we were stupid. Why didn't we just name them like they're supposed to be named? So
Okay, so fun fact about this movie. The director hated Silent Hill, like the first movie,
that's
Fair.
fair. I did too.
which is why she really wanted to do this and why she was so intent on pulling stuff in from the games and not so much keeping with the movie canon. But that led to its own problems, as we all saw when we watched this. Like, MJ Bassett is not happy with how this movie turned out. Like, to the point where she wrote a blog and apologized to the
wow.
fans.
It wasn't bad.
Yes, it was.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I enjoyed this movie. I really can't like explain it, but for some reason I was just completely on board. I wasn't even playing with my phone during this movie.
Oh, come
You know-
on.
I wasn't. I was eating until they got to the butcher scene. Then the chili cheese dogs got put down and they were done. But I was actually like into this movie.
I had the same thing because when I loaded this up, because I remember watching this the first time, and I think I checked out, was playing with my phone and just didn't care. So when I turned this on, I was like, okay, let's knock this out. Let's get it over with. It's 90 minutes. And then I found myself kind of invested in it. And I think it's, for me personally, there's 2 reasons. One, my expectations were beyond low, and 2, modern filmmaking and volume, and like everything in this film just felt tangible. Like it's very small compared to the first one. It's in like a lot of cramped areas, but I'm like, that is a set that was built and the set looks cool, as opposed to say like, a Star Wars production where it's like, these are a bunch of people standing in the Thunderdome with by saying, I don't blame CG artists because they're underappreciated and overworked, but I just like the look of this and the sets and one monster in particular, which is the highlight of the movie.
The set design in this is like absolutely phenomenal. That's good thing I will say about it.
I will agree with that 100%. Like it's a solidly made movie, but Jesus Christ, it's the rest of the movie that's the problem.
There's only one big issue I have with this movie, and I think we all have the same issue with this movie.
I'm curious.
Vincent.
I didn't have a problem with Vincent in this movie at all.
If they could have named him some completely random character, and I probably would have gotten left with a shit, because it basically goes, because the idea when you make movies or video games is you go, oh, well, you watch a movie and you go, oh, that's cool, and there's a game about it, so you play the game. So if you watch this first and go to the movie, you're introduced to Vincent and you go, oh, that's Heather's love interest, and it's a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Oh, Kid Harington that old at this point?
He was about 25 based on the math I did, because I wanted to see...
Vincent somebody from the game that I don't remember?
Yeah, Vincent's from the game.
Yeah, Vincent's...
he's the person who says, like, oh, they're monsters to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a spell since I finished Silent Hill 3. I think the last time I saw it, I watched Benjamin Rivers stream it.
Okay, that I didn't remember. I didn't remember any of that.
I do like that they did call that line out in this movie, though, because he was talking to... I'm just going to call her Heather. So I was like, do I want to call her Heather? Do I want to call her Sharon? I'm going to pretend like this is more accurate to the game and just say Heather. That's what her name always was.
I found that.
When he was talking to Heather, he was like, yeah, some of them look like monsters. Some of them look like people. And that's when I did the DiCaprio thing, and I stood up and I pointed at the TV, and I was like, he said it.
Okay, I didn't remember that. I mean, we beat this game 2 years ago. We did it for the show.
Yeah, but how many games have you finished between now and 2 years? You finish RPG a week.
The number is over 100. Easy. Probably more 120.
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
So, that's what I...
So, one thing I want to get to about this movie is that no one actually gets killed in this movie. I want to refer to everyone's death in this movie as being 3D to death, because every person that dies in this movie it's not a normal death. It's them having some kind of 3D thing happen to them.
They had to push the 3D.
Yeah, like I have so many problems with almost every part of this movie.
But what I find funny is that, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a reference. Did anyone else in this chat ever see the movie Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Okay. Because I constantly think of... Because, like, the joke about Sean Bean is that he dies in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, they make a movie based off Silent Hill 3, where the catalyst for the main character going to Silent Hill is her dad dying, and then he, like, survives. And I just think of just, like, when Crispin Glover is about to lose his arm in Hot Tub Time Machine, and, like, oh, he's gonna get it this time, and it's like, oh no, it's Sean Bean and he's alive? Why do you hire Sean Bean in a movie and a game where he dies? And it's like, no, we're going to make him live?
And the worst part about Sean being in this movie, and as I referenced in my introduction, he keeps slipping in and out of his accent. Like, I noticed that really hard. Like, that was not a problem in Silent Hill, but in this one, it was a very large problem. And it was posited, I think... Joe, was it you that said that he just didn't give a shit anymore?
He didn't give a shit in this movie.
Like, it was very sad, but it was amusing. I was going to count how many times it happened, but then it started happening too much, and I was losing track of everything. So I just stopped counting.
I'm surprised. He's a really good actor, too.
He is.
I mean, but everyone has their, like, maybe it was contractual obligation, or maybe it's like, okay, we're going to get you for a week. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to try. But then, like, I was watching this movie, Like when Douglas shows up, I was like, oh hey, it's that guy, because he's the guy in Tenet and he's the guy who steals the pin particles in Ant-Man 1. And that was my first, oh, it's that guy moment.
Yeah, Mark Donovan, my man.
And then I forgot, and then they're in the credits. I was like, oh my god, Carrie-Anne Moss and Malcolm McDowell are in this movie.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, how do you get those people? So you show them the script for Silent Hill, and maybe like the script was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then when they got there, it's like, oh no, we're gonna do this and that and slash this. We're gonna cut the budget in half.
It's amazing the problems you can solve when you throw money at things.
I'm gonna assume, I'm gonna assume one of the things with this movie is that they also told them like, oh yeah, no, expect for us to beat, because we're not gonna get to it. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole till the ending. But they basically advertise this movie as it being part of a franchise, and I'm assuming they told them like, oh yeah, when you make this movie, you'll get tons of money, and there'll probably be sequels involved that you can be in and stuff like that. So
I mean, I could have seen that they wanted to make it into a franchise of films.
But that's what's like shocking to me is that like when I think of like say the first Silent Hill, which I really wish I was on that episode and watch it again because I haven't watched it in a long time. And I mean the first one, I think it's remembered fondly now, but it didn't review well in the okay business. Like it wasn't like a Resident Evil movie where it's like this is action schlock and we're gonna make a bunch of money overseas and make like 5x the budget. Like, I don't think Silent Hill 1 did that well. So the fact that it even got a sequel is kind of astounding. And then especially like that long after. And again, like the state of Silent Hill was not great when this sequel came out.
no, it was not.
Nope.
It made its money. I looked it up. The first one was $50 million budget. It made $100 million. This was $20 million budget and made $50 million.
So this one was probably more profitable.
Yeah.
Now, here's the weirder question. If this movie made more money, was it because it was in 3D? Because one thing that I know they talked about how, like, someone made a complaint that, like, one of the Avengers movies finally made more than, like, I think, like, what's the highest making Disney movie from the 90s? Like, The Lion King?
Sure.
I got nothing.
Let's go with The Lion King then. Back whenever, like, one of the Avengers movie beat Lion King, like, I think this is when Disney bought Marvel or whatever. Someone's like, oh, yeah, you know, the Avengers finally beat Disney's highest grossing movie. It's the best thing ever, blah, 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 blah. And someone's like, but do you account for, like, movie tickets back then? Because back then, Lion King made, let's say $10 million, but movie tickets were only $3. As opposed to now, let's say Avengers 2 made $2 million, but do you also count regular movie tickets, 3D movie tickets, and all the other stuff like that? Where movie tickets now are, like, $10, $15?
15. Around there.
3's like probably 20.
It's like 20 or 25 here.
IMAX also is another like $10.
And this is also the post-Avatar world too. So like 2009, it's 3D everywhere. Like where everything is in 3D, whether it needs to be or not. But then I also to contextualize this further because I think contextualizing things is sometimes more fun than the media itself. What movie came out a month before this?
Wait, I do not know.
Dread.
Oh, Dread's a good movie.
I like that
and
movie.
it was used like 3D brilliantly.
Great. Ken, now we gotta go over to Ken's house and to watch Dread to compare the two movies.
No, you don't even need to. Do you understand this movie? This movie compared to Dread's use of 3D is like lasagna compared to 3 sweet tarts stacked on top of each other. Like Dread did 3D so much better.
I have a weird question for you guys as well. Does anyone know if the actress that plays Heather is like British or anything?
I think she's Australian.
Yeah,
Okay.
she is Australian.
Because one of the scenes that I do kind of like in this movie, but watching it now, you can kind of tell. So we go through the movie, she has her nightmare, and then she has a second nightmare, which doesn't count, and her dad gets 3D to death, and they have the whole conversation, and she gets her birthday jacket, and she goes to school, and, you know, dumb preppy girls will be preppy and make fun of her, and she gives her big speech about not giving a fuck. But, like, the way she's talking, you can super tell she's trying so hard not to fucking have her accent, like, bleed through.
Mhm.
I really like that speech she gives.
It's a good speech.
I just really liked her in this. I don't know.
She just reminds me of great value Michelle Williams. and reminds a lot of people of her too. There are memes about this actress and Michelle Williams looking almost exactly the same, but you get one when the budget allows and one when it doesn't.
And like I brought up earlier, like I totally, because as you do in movies, that sometimes they'll keep your interest. I'm like, what has she been doing lately? And I didn't realize, because I love the show Justified, and it just did a limited series, and she was a main character, like essentially the main female character in that entire series. And I totally forgot she was in this movie.
Huh.
That's cool, though. I never watched Justified. I know I should, though, one day.
Oh, it's so good. I would marry Tio if I could.
It's always been on my list. Like, I should give that a watch, but never gotten around to it yet. I don't know. I just really enjoyed a lot of things about... Like, one thing that I got a kick out of this movie that kept me entertained is how often she's switching between the real world and the nightmare world. And it just changes for her because of who she is. And I like that fact. Like, to me, that really got me into this movie, is that you just never knew what was going to happen. You never know when she was just going to be in the upside down. And I really enjoyed it.
See,
the upside down.
That's what it is.
And that's
true.
what pissed me off about this. Because, like, this happens in Silent Hill. You can't happen everywhere. Otherwise, just call it Philadelphia.
She's a
Milwaukee.
god.
Like, the shit that happens in Silent Hill stays in Silent Hill. It's like extremely
Just like-
shitty Las Vegas.
Just like Vegas.
Yeah.
It happens in Silent Hill 3 because she's at the regular mall and then everything gets...
Yeah.
Because it takes a while for her to get to Silent Hill. Like, you don't get to Silent Hill till the halfway point of 3. Because you go to the mall and then possibly an apartment building, then you get home and find her dad murdered.
Yeah.
And then Douglas takes her to Silent Hill.
I think Ken's implying he didn't like Silent Hill 3.
No, actually, I didn't. You're right.
He was on. You can go listen to that episode from 2 years ago. I have no idea what we said, but I'm pretty sure Ken was.
Yeah, I might have to go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
probably.
why
It's fine.
Part of me doesn't care about supernatural stuff because you just make up the rules. And like, I sometimes it works, but it doesn't jive with me all the time. That's why I'm more of a sci-fi Resident Evil horror guy.
No,
Fair
that's
enough.
I was very surprised how much this movie just jived with me and how much I got into it. Like, the little things there was one thing that my wife pointed out, which did make me laugh, when Kit Harington is walking her home and he takes off his jacket and has another jacket underneath. That did make me laugh my ass off. I wouldn't have caught it, but she did. She's like, why he gave her a jacket, but he has a jacket on. So he had 2 jackets.
Everybody layered a lot during this time. Like,
Yeah.
people had a lot of layers. Like, it was not uncommon to wear, a long sleeve t-shirt under a short sleeve button down, under a hoodie, under a vest. Like, I don't know, man.
To be wearing multiple layers. Ooh, like that.
People are weird.
And I think
Clothes are weird.
like it's like this is filmed in Canada where it's cold, but then I think about how Resident Evil 2 was also filmed in Canada, and Sienna Gilroy had to wear the Jill Valentine Nemesis outfit in like November.
Yeah, but that was just too damn hot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't for her.
No, I know. I can't. I love that fucking outfit so much, though. That's what.
So, I don't know if Mike's seen it, and it's one of the things that me and Ken are gonna have to bully Mike into seeing because it contained tons of references. Has anybody seen Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I know the joke from How Did This Get Made, so I kind of know the context.
Yeah, the context is Silent Hill very much just rips that movie off to death. But
Oh, okay. I'm
yeah.
curious now.
yeah, trust me,
Um,
you'll watch that movie and do the whole Leonardo DiCaprio thing of going like, oh, that's a Silent Hill reference, and that's a Silent Hill reference.
God damn it! You got my attention.
Yeah,
And the game directors have never been shy about that.
yeah.
They have come out and said, "Oh yeah, no, Jacob's Ladder really inspired us."
The scene where Heather has a vision to the other world at the mall when she sees the balloons and the
That is a good scene.
the people eating meat, and then her, like, whenever she goes to like the bottom of, like, I guess it's the kitchen, I'm assuming, and she's seeing like people being like cut up. I'm like, oh, this is very Jacob's Ladder.
That was such a good scene. Like, with the clowns and their faces changing, and just that, I was like, this is cool. And that's when I kind of, when she goes, and just her, like, when she was at the mall and the guy's like, hey, come here, and she runs away, I'm like, that's from the game. I pointed at the TV again. And, like, just those little things like that just got me. I mean, yes, it's been 2 years since, and in podcast time, that feels like it's been 5 years. Because, like I've said, I played over 100 games, beaten 100 games since then. So, like, I don't even remember what the fuck happened in that game. So it was like a great experience in that way. Also, I love the fact that they got the save point from Silent Hill 3 and put it everywhere in this movie. And I don't care if it didn't belong. It was awesome.
Heather also picks up a pipe to defend herself against Douglas.
Yes. That was my Leonardo DiCaprio moment. I'm like, yes.
Does anyone else get wistful for malls when they watch movies like this? And you're just like, what mall was this? And what year was it? And what things were there? And how much of it is office space or empty now?
I miss malls so bad, yo.
Same.
I don't as much.
We don't have Mall of America.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I also used to work at a mall, so there's that too.
Like,
or maybe not like a malls.
Y'all got like Mall of America, the fucking mall.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there exactly once when I went up and I met a bunch of people from the Overblood group, actually.
Oh yeah, for 2DCon, which I almost went to, but instead I had to go to work that night at the mall.
Oh, well.
I regret not going to that though. Like what, 7 years ago or so, or 8 years ago?
Jesus.
It was right when I first met my wife, and I remember she was like, "You should go," and I'm like, "I don't know these people that well." Now 8 years, like, God damn it, I would have met a bunch of cool people. But
little did Mike know that he avoided getting murdered that night.
I had a shitty job at the Mall America at the time.
So where's that Mike guy? We're going to sacrifice him to our Dark Lord. Oh, well, I guess we'll just call it a night.
So one thing about this movie that I know Joe was complaining about is how quickly Kit Harington's character, like, falls in love with Heather. And even my wife made the same comment, and I made the joke, and I don't think that really was a joke. I mean, to me, that fit enough, is that he really probably didn't see many women. So he's like, and plus this is somebody that's supposed to be evil and supposed to be the devil reincarnated and someone that you're supposed to not want anything to do with. And of course, men being idiots sometimes, like, we're definitely attracted to that. I know I would have been. I would have been one of the dumbass, like, you say she's evil, huh? But she's pretty hot. I don't know.
Yeah, it takes place over the course of 24 hours.
No.
Because like, she goes to school, and then she comes home, and then her dad's murdered, and then they go to the motel and stay overnight. So it's only like a day or two.
Oh my God, it was.
I didn't think that is short.
And then just to think about it was like one little, like, almost Kyle Reese line where it's like, oh yeah, I was trained to go find you or something, but your purity or something is what got me through the dark times. Like, yeah, just steal that from Terminator.
I was supposed to bring you back to Silent Hill, but damn, dead ass.
You know what is terrifying though? So
What?
like I made this joke while watching the movie. Imagine like coming home and then like walking in your house and like your significant other or someone you care about gets kidnapped, and there's a written in blood in your living room is like, come back to your hometown, signed the Westboro Baptist Church. I'd be scared shitless.
Oh.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh no.
What you did to him.
I'm sorry.
Ugh. Like, I went from not liking this movie to just being very upset about this movie. Thank you.
I really like the book that he has that like has all of, he has the monster encyclopedia for Silent Hill and everything. Like I really got a kick out of stuff like that too.
Yeah, with all the little drawings.
Yeah, I really liked all that. I don't know, there were lots of little things that I really enjoyed in this. Way more than I felt I had any right to. But I just was like, this, I don't know, it was just strange.
Well, I mean, I will agree with you there. You are not entitled to like this movie.
It also wasn't that gory of a film. Like, I mean, you could tell us with their budget. Like, I think there were a few creepy murders, but there weren't nearly as many as the first Silent Hill.
There we go. We figured it out, folks.
For me, yeah, it's a plus. I don't want to see that if I don't like horror movies. Also, Final Girl. The girl lives, and she wins. And she's fucking Heather Mason. So right there, you got.
Does she live, though? Because at the end, she's got to go with Vincent back to the real world. So
yeah,
that's a loss.
And that's something that because my brain is like, the movie posits that it's like, oh, it's a happy ending, like we beat the curse or whatever. It's like, okay, you're going to go home, so your dad's gone, still got bills to pay, you're still in high school, the other guy probably doesn't have like an education, so y'all gonna have to go get crappy jobs to pay for your shitty house, and then get your GED after hours. So thanks, Sean Bean, you ruined their lives.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
There are also two people who don't have real identities because technically, like, you have maybe Sharon, who technically was like born and then brought to like an adoption agency.
Yeah.
But like Vincent is like from another world. And I'm 90% sure that those people don't have birth certificates because they're eternally damned to like live forever until they die.
But he somehow bypassed the American school system.
It's not that hard.
Hi there, I'm Vincent Every Kid. I want to enroll in school. Here's $20. All right.
Here's a gun.
Okay, that is a fair.
America.
Fuck yeah. I also like the fact that like she takes charge so much in this movie, and Vincent is just a fucking bumbling idiot throughout this movie. Like the point, I think it's in the motel where he's like, I was supposed to come take you away, but you were just too damn beautiful. I'd never seen a woman before. Oh, like, I mean, it's not the lines, but I mean, that's kind of what it was. He's like, you're not evil. You're hot.
I mean, obviously, she's the most beautiful woman he's seen. Have you seen his fucking mom? Jesus fucking Christ.
She's terrifying.
Which is sad because Carrie Ann Moss is a good-looking woman. What did they do to her? Yeah. What did they fucking do to her in this movie?
That's why Ken doesn't like this movie.
They made her Claudia. I mean, Claudia looks like that in the movie. She's a weird albino, like, weird person.
No eyebrows.
But no eyebrows.
Yeah, I am also very confused because Claudia said that she was Christabella's sister.
Okay, I did remember that. I thought I was fucking making that up.
Yeah, no, it was real.
But she wasn't in the first movie.
No, she fucking wasn't. Which also means that she's Dahlia's sister. Because Christabella said she was Dahlia's sister in the first movie. So how many fucking siblings does Dahlia have? And just fucking stop talking to them, lady. Jesus.
Maybe they were all Catholic. You know, Catholic people couldn't use practice, protection. So hey, maybe that's.
So yeah, speaking of fucking. So So these are all ghost people trapped in an endless purgatory. But someone got it on to make Jon Snow, and then he grew up in the ghost world.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, if I was locked in the ghost world, I'd be having lots of sex if I could. So
hold on. Like, isn't that the point of purgatory, though?
Fuck a lot? I don't know.
No, to not fuck. Like, purgatory is a punishment. So, like,
I got nothing.
Why would you be able to fuck and give birth? You're dead.
Well, the way I see it, this isn't purgatory TM. This is their purgatory, which is basically stuck in a not living, not dead state because they decided to burn an 8-year-old girl at the cross. So it's not specifically purgatory. Because the other thing that I had a question about was if all these people are stuck there and they have kids, what the fuck do they eat?
But they don't need to eat.
Ghost
I guess. No, because in the first movie you have that one chick that's going around looking for food.
Oh yeah. But you're supposed to think they're not actually in the ghost world at the time. You're supposed to think it's just the real world.
I think the vision explains that they just carve chunks off of people and slap them on the grill.
Oh yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, waste not, want not, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, if somebody's going to die, you might as well, chop that fat bastard up and put him on the grill.
How do you guys feel about the no-nonsense trailer shot for this movie?
I didn't even watch the fucking trailer.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer.
No, it's the one thing that I complain about with Captain America 1, where like that montage is meant for the trailer. That scene where like Heather's having a nightmare and there's like Alyssa running through like, I guess, regular America with like the rock behind her and her like throwing. Yeah, that's a trailer shot. It adds nothing to the movie except we had to put it in here so it could be in the trailer.
I think that was showing how the destruction of Silent Hill happened, but that is also 100% a scene that was reenacted in 2017's The Mummy, which we really should cover on this show one of these days, by the way.
You want us to cover the whole Dark Universe movies?
Yeah, all of them. All one of them.
And then you can go play the Mummy Demastered after as a palate cleanser.
I like every so often that poster comes, that meme comes along, like, oh, the whole Dark Universe. I'm like, well, yeah, that was a thing.
I like that movie better than this one.
I got Tom Cruise running, so hey, there's that. But it doesn't have this attractive actors.
What were you gonna say, Blair? I cut you through to talk about my stupid rant about the stupid scene in this movie.
Oh, I can't remember, but I don't remember the trailer, but I remember following the marketing where they were showing like production stills, and it's like, here's the town, here's some of the sets, and here's the actress, and I was really excited. And I was like, man, because I saw the first Silent Hill, and I think I like it more now, older, I guess, because back then I was like, well, this is not like the game, this is stupid and whatever. But I think I'd appreciated what it does more now. So I was like really excited. I was like, oh, they're gonna get it right this time. But yeah, I don't remember the trailer at all.
I don't either. I didn't watch the trailer for this. I've been trying to go into movies blind now that we do for the show. Like, there's a good chance that Hereditary will be on this show next month because of the polls. Well, the month that you're hearing this. And I'm not going to watch any trailers. I'm not going to look anything up. I'm just going to go in that movie completely blind.
What is it? Silent Hill Revelations, film 74. Hereditary, film 75.
Close to it, yes. Depending on, there might be another one in between there of Hellraiser, but yes, they'll be right around there. It's October time. We got to do all the crazy, terrible movies that you guys make me watch. From what I remember, I know I didn't like the first Silent Hill movie. You can go listen to both those episodes where I bitched about it over the course of 4 years. But I don't know what it was about this one. I do like that there's a little scene, a very, very brief scene early in this movie that shows like that Rose is trapped in the Silent Hill world, and so, they kind of like, retcon what happened at the end of the movie to show that Heather made it back, because otherwise she can't be in this movie.
And was that the same actress from the first movie for that brief little snippet? Okay.
Yes, it was. They got everybody from the original movie, except for my boy Gucci, to come back, except for the best thing about that movie, Jordell Ferland. Not because the actress did not want to come back, but nobody asked her.
Oh, that's messed up.
Who was she?
Played Sharon in the first movie.
Oh.
And in this one, it's played by somebody else.
I wonder why they didn't get her to come back, because she would have been 6 years older. She would have been the right age.
Yeah.
Adeline Clemens. I really like Adeline Clemens in this, so I can't argue, but why wouldn't you just bring her back?
I don't know.
All right. People do weird things, and they don't tell people that, hey, we're not going to recast you. You're just going to find out that the movie came out and there's someone else in the spot that you had.
Yeah, there's something wrong with, I guess, trying to get a teenager to play somebody teenaged. You got to go for at least like 10 years older.
Yeah.
Well, this was the same year The Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out.
I like that movie.
I like that movie too, but he does not look like he's a teenager, high schooler.
Willie loves ya.
All right. I'm watching the trailer right now.
I'm watching the whole movie still on YouTube.
Yeah, I have it too still. So,
The trailer is better than the movie.
is it weird that they made Claudia more attractive in this one than the last movie?
Claudia. Why is that not ringing a bell?
The mom.
Oh, Dahlia?
I also...
Dahlia, my bad.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
no,
that's why I
Dahlia's
didn't click. I thought of Ken immediately, and I told Tiff, I'm like, oh, there's that actress that Ken likes.
Oh, yeah. Deborah Kara Unger, 6 years later, can still get it.
So, and then I know Tiff made a comment, because she'd watched the first movie before. She's like, doesn't she look older in the first movie? I'm like, I don't remember.
Yes. And she could get it then, too.
Also, when they had like the people look like they were burned at the stake, fun fact, there were never any witches burned at the stake in America, only in Europe. I know that because of Salem, they told me.
Oh.
In the Witch Museum.
That's nice.
They were only burned in The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage, which is what I would have probably referenced when we talked about Sybil in the first one, if I actually was on that episode.
Ooh, yeah, Nicolas Cage, Wicker Man. I like that one. Hey, I was going to say something just now, and I completely... Oh, yes. You want to know what my biggest problem with this movie is?
Yeah.
My absolute end-of-the-road biggest problem. Anybody listening to the Silent Hill episode where we covered the movie will understand this movie is not nearly fucking horny enough.
Yeah.
You're right.
You are right.
Like, this movie is just... It's sterile. I don't like it. Fucking Pyramid Head has pants. You don't get that ass anymore.
And the Pyramid Head is like working a carousel?
Yeah, it's the same guy. Roberto Campanella even came back to play Pyramid Head, but they got him in like fucking Dockers.
They're going for that PG-13 rating they didn't get.
Time.
So I have to repeat this joke from the episode because I loved at the end because I had the same reaction where Pyramid Head shows up and he's essentially just like, Heather, friend, and just starts fighting for her like she's a Pokemon.
Do you not understand why though?
Because Pyramid Head was standing in for Valtiel.
Yeah,
That and
exactly.
Pyramid Head is the Gillespie family stand. The mom can use it, and so can Alyssa and Cheryl and Sharon and Heather. Same person.
Aura.
That's what this last fight in this movie is. It's a stand fight.
I choose you, red pyramid thing.
Oh my god.
I'm okay to even though Pyramid Head makes
attack.
no sense in this movie. I was okay with it. It didn't bother me. I'm like, he shouldn't be here. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like even like the nurses shouldn't be here. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Cool ass scene.
Yeah, even the nurses weren't horny enough in this movie.
No, they weren't.
What are y'all talking about?
They weren't as sexy as in the first movie.
Do you not hear them moaning every time they took like a slash at them?
That's what I was gonna say.
So
That wasn't
sexy the first
sexy.
movie.
That was grotesque.
It's in this movie.
Yeah, they were definitely moaning.
Oh, they were. They were. And it wasn't hot. It wasn't horny. It was disgusting. Because
They could have
one
also
thing-
threw in a can in the other direction.
Yeah.
Also, why didn't they just kick Harrington in there? Why they drag him in there and then be like, "Oh, we have tasers for monsters that
Well, I
probably
didn't-
don't have."
Okay, I didn't understand the point of that. Like, why are you dragging this guy in and then you're getting murdered instead? What was the point?
They just live there. They don't know how it works.
I also like how this movie has the frickin' bunny all over the place for absolutely no reason.
Robbie the rabbit.
Wasn't he in Silent Hill 4 also? Like for one brief moment? Like in the other room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I love Silent Hill 4.
That's a good game.
Me too.
Mommy, the room is my mommy. So, yes.
Look, you know what? If you don't stop fucking with Walter, I'm gonna be upset. All right, Walter's the best villain this series had had since the first one.
Oh, and as I'm watching the movie, I got to a part that I have to talk about. The mannequin spider thing that makes absolutely no sense.
I don't care. It was awesome.
Thank you,
She's
Blair.
in Silent Hill. She runs into some apartment building or something. She runs into a building because the siren goes off, whatever. And what I was confused, is this supposed to be that other random people had also like wandered into Silent Hill and then getting murdered, essentially?
Yeah, sure.
So what confused, like, I don't know what it was, but for some reason, watching that woman turn into a mannequin was like, okay, this is kind of hot, and I don't know why I felt that.
Oh, I was like creeped out beyond all.
I was not,
compare.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, not horny.
I don't know. And then she rescues the other girl. I'm like, okay, cool. There's gonna be two women running around, and they just fucking murder her at the end of the scene. I'm like, why even rescue her? You're just gonna kill her.
That's the exact scene, the exact part where I'm like, I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. Like, it was at that moment, the freaking mannequin spider. I'm like, this is so freaking stupid.
Oh yeah, but it was kind of cool.
It was, and then when it grabs the head of the woman that turned to him.
The CG is really bad. No.
See, I thought it was really great.
I thought it was great.
I loved how that looked. Like, just the way it moved was so unnerving. Like, I didn't like when they put the faces up front, because that was one of the, like, put on your 3D glasses scenes. But, yeah, other than that, it was like the way it moved, the way it looked, like, when they, kind of turned the person to a mannequin. I was like, God, that's an awful way to go. Like, that was, like, this is my favorite part of this entire movie.
Least favorite part.
Being used for spare parts for some kind of weird monster thing. Yeah, it's fucking absolutely terrifying. I want a whole movie based off that thing.
I just don't understand, like, this. It was just so weird. I'm like, this isn't for the games. This is just there. And it was just like, it's only there. It's only around for a few minutes.
There was a mannequin room in Silent Hill 3, but in Silent Hill 3, it's a lot cooler and creepier than whatever the hell this was.
Oh, this was creepy. I just like the fact that the girl makes that one comment. She's like, I just wandered in here, and I don't know if, I don't know.
And I'm like, who are you?
She doesn't even go here.
We're gonna be dead in less than 5 minutes, so it doesn't matter who we are.
Hi, my name is Fodder, Cannon Fodder.
And I guess they got the idea because don't you find the like when you walk in that rooms, I think you grab the katana from there. When you like turn the corner and run back, doesn't there like a scream happen? And I guess
Yes, and then the mannequin's head is on the floor. It's like ah, and then you go back, and then the mannequin, she's all bloody, and then her head fell off, and it's really creepy, and I love it. I love Silent Hill 3.
Such a good game.
4 is better. Anyway.
I just had to go look up when Silent Hill 4 came out because Konami released 2 games within 1 year where a main antagonist was named Walter.
Yeah.
what was the other game?
Castlevania Lament of Innocence.
Walter's a good villain name, y'all.
For a vampire, though, it's like,
No, he's
oh,
not
Leon, you must vanquish the monster, Walter. It's like, okay.
Also, when
Walter,
the
Walter.
mannequin like opens up the mask and all of a sudden it becomes like a Demogorgon like face or an
God.
alien face, I'm like,
know-
okay, that's
Terrible.
I'm pissed at that. Because there has never been a scene that sucked more in the history of sucking in 3D than that fucking scene. Because you got something popping out, then you got something popping out again, and then you have the little like alien thing popping out of there. So it's like 3 levels deep, and it doesn't hold up. It blurs. It gave me a headache.
Aw, that's bad.
Like-
'Cause that would have been cool.
It would have been cool if they would have done it right. Like so much of this movie, it wasn't fucking done.
I mean, they have Sean Bean tied up to like a statue that looks like a liquor from Resident Evil for some reason in the center of this place. Like, why he's just here tied up? Like, I don't know what they were like. Their whole thing is, I guess, to draw her to this place. Oh, and they did say like they wanted to impregnate her, right? Like just like the game.
Yes.
Okay.
Gross.
Also, you have what it's like to work at a carnival because you have Pyramid Head who's moving around a carousel while also having his nipples like hooked through. So
Yeah.
yeah, awful job. 0 out of 5 stars.
That's just working at the Ren Fest, pretty much.
So, like, the thing that we haven't talked about at all is the missionary, which is Claudia's monster form. That, no fucking joke, is taken straight out of goddamn Hellraiser.
Right?
That's what I was thinking too.
Like, just the saw blades in the face and the teeth looking all ragged and the eye holes and, like, it stole too much from Hellraiser, especially with the bondage gear. Now,
I wasn't upset about that.
I'm not upset about that either, and I want to be very clear on that. The missionary in general, like it was pointless. It was a dumb character. I didn't like it, and that fight between Pyramid Head and the missionary at the end. Ugh.
You didn't like it when the 2 dinosaurs fought each other so the hero could escape? What? I thought
No.
that was great when the T-Rex fight the raptors.
Yeah, okay, but like when you're doing it
Yeah, I
and
know.
you can see that it was done just to show off, hey guys, we're shooting in 3D. Check it out. Bet you didn't see this one coming. Knife's coming at you. Oh, watch out, because here's another knife coming at you. Like, yeah, I get it. There's been so many knives at this point. I don't care. I wanted to see that ass in 3D, and no, gave him fucking slacks. You don't care about me.
They could have just did it like an actual Silent Hill game, and the main character just awkwardly circle strafes around and shoots them with bullets until they die.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
What's funny enough is that they actually teased this earlier in the movie because whenever Heather is at the insane asylum, she actually screams, "Someone please help me!" And as soon as she does, Pyramid Head shows up.
Yeah, I caught that.
Cool.
I like that too.
So wait, are you telling me, Ken? Chelsea, does that mean this movie has 0 out of 5 cheeks for you because no Pyramid Head butt?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like Ken said, he's wearing frickin' Dockers.
The only thing you
There's
get
no
in the movie are-
exposed cheeks.
you get boobs. That's it from the woman that just turned to a mannequin.
Do you though?
Does the Malcolm McDowell monster have them?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
I don't think so. I don't think you ever see any ass on that.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
I'm flipping through right now, but
That's the old guy in the asylum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Leonard.
Talk about a waste of Malcolm McDonald.
He's a good actor.
Ugh, he is good. Like, he's real good. But this was not good.
Oh, and I didn't catch this the first time, but when she's in the asylum, you can see the map, and the map looks like it's just a map taken out of the PS2 game.
I love it.
Like the same squares and everything. I'm like, that's awesome.
No, there is no but for Leonard's not even canon demon form. He's wearing black slacks.
God damn. All right,
Oh,
look, I want to talk to Big Khaki has some questions to answer for here.
And the random monster that attacks Heather in the asylum also has pants on.
What the hell, man?
Everybody got pants. Because, if you turn into a monster, your biggest concern is, I better keep my pants. I'm going to bite someone, eat them alive. I don't want them to see my ding-along hanging up. No.
Yeah, you don't want the dingling
we got to have pants.
hanging out everywhere.
What are you going to get some free scenes of ass or anything? Nope. Pants.
I don't know, man. Like, if I'm hulking out into a monster form, I gotta assume that the dong's gonna hulk out, too. I don't want to hide that. I want to be proud of my body if I suddenly have pecs and abs.
Become a monster with no face.
I think that's the weaker part of this movie too, is that Silent Hill 1 has tons of Silent Hill, the first movie, has tons of monsters from the other games. This one barely has a second for the lying figure, it has the nurses, and then everything else is either in game or just them slapping weird monster textures on normal people.
That had no budget.
Oh yeah.
It was
you can tell that the budget was
20 million for this one, I think.
Yes, compared to 50 for the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's a big reduction.
Big reduction.
They had no faith in this movie.
Which is okay. Look, I'm down on this movie a lot, but I wanted it to be good. I really did. I always want video game movies to be good, and I don't know, man. Maybe I wish too hard.
It's just that I think for the longest time, the people that were writing the checks didn't care, and they saw it as just a cash grab. And it isn't until more recently I feel like we're actually getting video game movies that are actually paying respect to what they are.
Well, it's because
material.
Right now the people who are making movies are people in our age bracket who grew up with this stuff. And it could be that the director, they wanted to do this, but then they have to go through producers and budgets, and someone says, well, no, we can't do this. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But yeah, now we're just in the era of, and also games are just especially Sony ones, they're just Oscar bait games. That's what I call a Sony game now, for better or for worse.
That's fair.
That is true, because one of the things that I follow, weirdly enough, is there's this really goofy Sonic comic that came out when I was a teenager, made by this dude called Tyson Hees, and it's got Nipples the enchilada, and Sonic, whenever he eats the emerald, he turns big and buff, and he's wearing tidy whities. And that same dude is now the main character designer for the Sonic movies and for the games, and he makes the animations for the Sonic games now.
Hey, follow your dreams.
Yeah, so it makes sense that video game movies are getting better now that we're older.
Yeah.
Except Christoph Gans is coming back to direct Return to Silent Hill.
Holding out. Holding out, that movie's good.
You understand my concern.
Has he done anything since? Because I know not long after Silent Hill, and this is something I just had to double check to make sure that it wasn't a fever dream. He was going to do an Onimusha movie with the actor from the first game. That was a thing that almost happened.
That was.
That would have been awesome.
Would it have been, though?
I think so.
Okay, going back and looking at his Crying Freeman movie, which is actually pretty good, and Brotherhood of the Wolf, there's every possibility that Onimusha could have been, good.
Yeah, but I can also see a studio being well, this movie has a lot of Asian people in it. We're the whites. Which is
what they did with Silent Hill.
He's only done 6 movies. The last movie he did was a Beauty and the Beast movie in 2014, and it's a French Beauty and the Beast live action movie. And then he has 2 movies upcoming, which is Return to Silent Hill, that's in post-production, so it is coming out confirmed 2024.
All right, fantastic. Let's go to Minnesota, guys.
And something called Untitled Project Zero movie.
Oh no.
Which is in production.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So here's an article from 2007 from Wired. Onimusha movie plot unveiled, comma, has white people.
Hey.
I
were right.
I didn't realize it. I fucked up. I said Project Zero movie, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking Fatal Frame. He's making a Fatal Frame movie.
No.
No.
Because I looked at it, it says there's a plot for it. It says at a school in Japan, terrifying supernatural incident takes place. And when I scroll down the storyline, it says based on the Fatal Frame video game series.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm petitioning. Uwe Boll is not the monster anymore. Christoph Gans is the monster.
You know, you say that, and since Blair's been fucking talking about it, I really want to watch the second House of the Dead movie because I saw a clip and I'm like, oh fuck, this is just Resident Evil.
It is
streamable
just
somewhere?
Resident Evil. I
I wanna
watched
watch
it.
that
It
too.
really is.
I
No, I
paid
gotta-
money for it.
I gotta pay $5 fucking for it, but I'm willing to because it actually looks really good.
I bought it flat out.
You guys tell me we got to do an episode about it
See.
now. That what you're trying to tell me.
What I want to do, and I don't know how easy it is to get, because I remember once upon a time I was trying to buy every movie based on a video game, and then I realized like I'm not buying 50 Pokemon movies. So they re-edited House of the Dead 1 as a comedy and sold it on DVD as like House of the Dead, the comedy cut. And I
What?
don't know how easy that is to find.
That's weird.
That's insane.
I mean, it already is a comedy, but like I guess they made it even more of a comedy.
Maybe they add laugh track to it.
Oh, huh. Okay, House of the Dead funny version.
On YouTube?
No, I'm looking on eBay.
Okay.
What the fuck? That's insane.
What the fuck?
I'm only seeing it
This
for
is-
Region 4, though.
I remember seeing it at HMV here in Canada. I remember seeing it back in the day, and I should have bought it. Although I have a feeling I would have basically gave it to like Value Village at this point.
But anyways, we end up seeing Pyramid Head, and Vincent is no longer surprised the fact that his mother got fucking decapitated in front of him. But you know what? She was a bitch, so he understands.
Hey, she had him put in the asylum to have whatever those nurses were going to do to him. Fuck him, murder him. I don't know which one was coming in order, but
Probably
I think Pleasant was coming.
Oh no, Silent Hill nurses, please don't do anything to my soft, succulent body. It's not like I'm stuck here, trapped in this little tiny gurney. But,
Oh no, step nurses.
We're gonna put you in a home. You already put me in a home.
Jinx!
I didn't catch what happened. What happened?
We both said, help me, step nurses, I'm stuck.
He was in fact stuck though, so.
Stop
Like a
acting
video
up.
says Silent Hill step nurses after dark.
Are we adding this to our porn parodies that Ken found from fucking...
Oh, I'm sure there's Silent Hill nurses porn parodies. I have not looked it up, nor am I going to, but I'm sure there is.
That's why you got that VPN.
I don't use VPN. I'm gonna look up other stuff. So I don't care.
But
I'm a grown ass man. I'm
My internet service provider can know that I'm a pervert. That's okay.
one
My wife
one
knows.
Next Spirit Halloween, folks.
one thing about this ending of this movie, because I believe whenever I went to go see this, I didn't get a chance to watch it, and my sister saw it before I did, and then she's like, hey, we really need to go see this movie for reasons, and I was like, okay. And so we were watching the ending, and there was no one in the theater, so we were kind of talking the whole time during the movie. And I'm watching the ending, and I'm like, did they just fucking tease 3 more fucking movies? And she's like, yeah, weird, right?
How 3? How 3 more?
It's the dad going to go look for the mom. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
you
Silent
would
Hill
have,
2.
yeah. When they get in the trucker,
Oh.
that's the trucker from
Oh,
Silent Hill
yeah.
Origins.
Origins.
And
I got excited when I saw that too. By the way,
and you wouldn't have caught it because you haven't played it yet, Mike. But that's the buzz from Silent Hill Downcoming.
Yep.
I mean Downpour.
I'm gonna keep saying it because I hate that game.
Downcoming is something else. I think I'm not going to look that up, but that feels like that'd be a phrase for something else.
Anyways, that's the buzz that's holding the main character from Silent Hill Downpour. So it
That I
teases,
didn't get.
yeah, because
Yeah.
but yeah, this movie teases 3 more movies at the end.
I
Which is-
like that it was the driver from Origin. That was really cool.
But I don't understand how you turn that into a movie. Do you just start the movie off where he's like, "Let me tell you guys about the time I went to Silent Hill
And
And had
rescue
to-
the girl. That's actually you, but not you. Yeah.
and I had to kill my own dad."
But he
Origins
did
is a good
say,
game.
he's like, one of the lines, he's like, man, I haven't been here in like so long or whatever. So he like has been there.
Yeah.
I like that Easter egg. I thought that was cool. I wouldn't have minded sequels of this. Like, I think a franchise would have been cool if they would have done more Sound Hill.
I
Too
would have
bad.
been happy with Downpour.
Yeah, I would
Ugh.
have too.
I like Downpour.
I hate
Ugh.
Downpour.
I hate Downpour.
I actually don't think I own Downpour, unfortunately.
Yeah, I gave up after that because I have Homecoming and I finished it
Yeah, I'm gonna look. Keep talking.
and I thought it was fine.
It's fine, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't serve it as a main course for my meal.
You know what's really fun about Silent Hill Downpour? If you buy the PlayStation 3 version, which I did, you can play it in 3D.
Oh my fucking god, are you serious?
Yeah,
That's kind of cool, actually.
there were a few games you could play in 3Ds. Assassin's Creed Revelations was one of them.
Arkham Asylum and City.
Yeah, those were actually pretty interesting too.
I have Downpour for 360.
Oh,
Hey.
I have Green Lantern, which has the red and green 3D glasses.
Interesting. So the Silent Hill franchise apparently was really leaning into 3D for whatever reason.
Wasn't everything in like leaning in 3D around this point?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a post-Avatar world. You gotta get those ticket sales.
I mean, I never saw a lot of 3D movies. I just don't like 3D.
See, where I'm from, like, we essentially have, well, up until 2021, we only had 2 cinemas. One wasn't equipped to show 3D movies until 2013. And most of the time when a movie came, you had to see it in 3D. Like, I remember we were going to see Doctor Strange 2 last year, and they changed it the last second. Because when I bought the tickets, it was regular IMAX, and they changed it to IMAX 3D. And people that day wanted a refund because they didn't want to see it in 3D.
That's fair.
That is fair. My wife hates 3D too because it gives her a headache usually.
And we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 this year, and they swore to the projection. It's like, we're not going to show it in 3D. We're going to show it in 2D. And I was like, J. Jonah Jameson, thanks for the good news.
Yeah, when I saw Guardians 3, it was 2D also. Interesting.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of anything else that we should mention. Oh, I do like that is kind of like with 3, where did Dark Alessa show up in the end of Silent Hill 3 too to help her? I don't think
Yes.
so. Okay. God, I do not remember at all.
Yeah, you fight her on the carousel. Oh yeah, just like in the movie.
Yeah, and then you find her note, kind of her telling Alyssa, or her telling Heather or whatever, the speech is that weird note you find whenever you kill her about like darkness becoming whatever, and thou art I am thou, persona, whatever.
Okay, I gotta say for some reason, well, not for some reason, but I really like the way that they made that actress look when she's all in Dark Alessa form. Something like that. I thought that was hot.
Mike likes his goth girls.
Mike does. Mike really does.
Ken understands.
Joe also understands.
I'm noticing that more and more as I watch some of these things. I'm like, oh,
Silent Hill Downpour used to be on the Xbox Digital Store, but it's not anymore. But it is playable on 360 on the Series X.
I think it was free at one point.
yeah, because it never came on a PC for Downpour, which sucks.
And then, as usual, because they expected 3 more sequels for this movie, that all got kicked out of the window when the HD collection didn't sell well, and they thought no one gave a shit about Silent Hill anymore.
PS3 supremacy, baby.
But it's also, I mean, again, like, I love era contextualization. Like, survival horror was in the crapper in 2012. Like, Resident Evil 6 came out. Like, Dead Space 3 was in January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, Silent Hill was Book of Memories. Like, all of that was gone. Like, Resident Evil was at its low point. Silent Hill was on life support, and Dead Space was about to get microtransaction and co-ops. Like, survival horror was basically dead.
I'm glad that survival horrors came back and people have accepted it again.
Yes, me too.
It ain't the same.
No, but I mean, it's friendlier for Mike.
I just hate that. I'm trying to, like, because the era right now, they're remaking all these games, and it's like, no, you don't get the old ones anymore. Like, I miss the days when if they did a remake of something, then they gave you the old one with it. It was like an unlockable or something. Like, they did a lot in the PS2 era. Like, if you're going to put a Resident Evil 2, like, finish it once, and congratulations, you unlock the PlayStation 1 game.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But I think, honestly, like, people, who was that guy from Sony? And it's like, oh, who wants to play these old games? Like, I'm pretty sure that's how everyone is now, but now everyone is, like, our age, and it's like, we want to play these old games really, really bad, and you won't let us.
And we're stuck paying, like, hundreds of dollars if we want to do it.
Yeah.
Because of the goddamn scalpers.
Or you do things other ways, but yes.
Yeah.
That's why I help people.
Yeah.
I hate whenever a game is completely locked away behind, like, doesn't exist except for scalpers. That's when I'm very much like, here's how to play it. Here's where to find it. I will help you play this game that you can no longer buy because they won't sell it to you. Like Eternal Darkness. I will help you play it because it's never getting re-released.
Real talk. That's for the best because Eternal Darkness sucks.
Whoa.
I hate that.
Whoa.
I like Eternal Darkness.
Hate it.
Oh.
Cam Clark is a damn treasure.
Yeah, Dennis Dyack isn't. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
You know, it's because I bought that game and I just could not get into it. And I remember, like, Dennis Dyack is all about, oh, we can't skip the cutscenes. I'm like, I'm sorry, if I'm dying at a boss, I want to skip some epic cutscenes. And my Eternal Darkness story is that the game froze and it was like, oh, the disc is wrong. It's like, hey, you got me. It's like, oh no, the disc actually is broke. I have to take this out and clean it.
Oh.
I do gotta say, I am sad that, like, I didn't realize that the movie was trying to set up that many sequels. That would have been cool.
Well, it's like anything, because, I mean, this is the same, I think this is the Sony, so it's probably the Screen Gems label, probably Alliance in Canada, or E1. I think it's from the same producer, like Samuel Hidaya, I don't know. So they probably wanted to do the Resident Evil treatment for this, where it's like, okay, Resident Evil is this franchise we have it, we make them cheap and we make a lot of money, and this was made cheap. Now I don't know a lot about the movie business, so this is 20 million. I don't know how much you spend on marketing, so 50 million it probably squeaked out some money, and then probably some Blu-ray sales because that was still a thing. But it wasn't like, say, Resident Evil, like 5? Yeah, 5 was in 2012, 4 would have been 2010, which was probably made for $40-50 million and made like 150 or something. Like, that's what they were looking for with these.
I'm assuming the marketing couldn't have been... I'm assuming this wasn't too much to make. It just doesn't seem like that.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was. Let's see here. Yeah, the budget was supposedly 20 million. The box office was 55.9.
Yeah. In context, Resident Evil 4 had a 60 million budget and made $300 million.
Damn.
Well, because you spend money on the people that are good. Like, you don't, just drag a bunch of people into this movie that had nothing to do with it beforehand.
And I mean, Resident Evil is the games and the movies, they're a crowd-pleasing franchise. It's very easy to understand person versus monsters. And Silent Hill 1, it's a horror movie, but it's also an art house horror movie.
Yeah.
Which is not exactly I had an Umbrella logo costume jewelry thing I used to wear all the time. And I would go places and people would look at it and say, man, I love those movies. And I'm like, that's cool. You're in Resident Evil, but they knew what it was from those movies. There wasn't many people who saw Silent Hill. I'd say you had a lot of people who walked out of that thing back in 2006.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is really weirdly is back when I was a young teenager, the one movie that didn't really matter were I went to go see a lot of anime movies and like live action. And there was this anime called Gantz. And it's a very violent show, but you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a very violent movie, and me and my friends convinced his dad to take us to go see the movie like on a Wednesday. And that's the only thing I can think of whenever I think about like movies that are limited run and stuff like that. So.
Oh God, Gantz is problematic.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Never heard of it, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I'll send you a clip.
Oh, don't.
Okay.
No, maybe I'll get Mike to start reviewing anime on here and be like, look, we're watching an anime season.
Probably not. Nah, I do like anime, but I'm not a big person with anime. It's got to be the Toonami stuff, like the stuff that, like, it's just one of those weird, like, this is, the stuff that I liked at the time. Otherwise, I'm just not interested.
All right, so if you're going to do Mobile Suit Gundam Wing episodes like 1 through 17, apparently we have them on VHS out there, so I got to track down a VCR.
Hey, I got one.
Oh, yeah, you watched Nightmare on Elm Street that way.
I did.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say about this movie? I feel like we're kind of running out of stuff to say.
We've talked longer than the runtime of the movie.
I would almost do that.
We're at an hour 27. I was actually watching the movie while we were talking. I had to fast forward the last few parts because we were almost done.
Oh, right. I'm looking at the length of the call. Okay, we got to stretch it a few minutes, guys. What else do we got?
I was trying to see if we'd make it the full movie. I just can't get over the fact that movies on YouTube completely, because people are always like clicking on when I post the podcast episodes. Like whenever I post a movie, I put podcast at the end of it because people will click it, and then I used to get a bunch of down likes. Like, you ain't the movie. Like, of course it's not the movie. You can't post the movie. Apparently, you can with some movies.
Oh, I actually have something. I'm gonna stretch this out like taffy, baby. When you watch them and you pause them, it has like the actors on the bottom. But in this movie, when I watch it on Prime, it also has the song names, which are all from Akira Yamaoka.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh,
All
and
right.
I want to go to double back to what Blair had said about, to make a joke. Like, I do see a lot of umbrella icons on people's cars. Like, I think yesterday I was at Walmart and I saw somebody had the umbrella icon on their car, but I've only seen one person over the Silent Hill sticker on their car.
That's me.
Yes. Yes, it is, Chelsea. Don't you have, like, the save point symbol, I think?
No, I have, it says, I'd rather be in Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I don't see it very often. I mean, you're the only one I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of Resident Evil stuff, like Umbrella or just something, but only seen the one sticker of you. So, Silent Hill is just not it. I mean, I remember when we first started this podcast, I had never even played Silent Hill almost 5 years ago, and I had no interest. And now, I mean, we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we've done 1 twice, and we're about to do 2 twice at some point for this show. Like, I am much more into the Silent Hill than, I mean, it's a great series. I think should we go to Shelf Stacker Box? I almost forgot that we have to do that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go first. I am torn between this movie. At first, I thought about it last night, I'm going to put this in the stack. I mean, like, it's fine, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I just rewatched it on YouTube, and I was like, I kind of want to watch this again. I'm putting this on the shelf. This is a horror movie that Mike actually liked. It's not too gory. The woman wins in the end and survives, and she's a badass, and she's hot. And the movie entertained me. So, going on the shelf, which is really fucking strange for me to say for this movie, because I did not expect that. But I really enjoyed this film. What about you, Chelsea?
I don't know.
Be negative. That's fine.
It's fun. It's fun to watch like once every 10 years, which is what I did. I seen this in the theater when it came out, and then I never watched it again. And then now I would just watch it for this show. So yeah, I'm content watching it once every 10 years. So we're going to just throw her in the box.
Okay. And Joseph?
I very much love this movie. I like both these movies, and I can't wait for the third one, especially because these movies mean a lot to me because they spare a special bond between me and my sister. As much as I usually always catch issues with the movie, and then the movie ends up kind of fixing itself. So, but at the end of the day, I'm going to put it on the shelf because I still very much love this movie.
Okay. And Blair?
I'm going to put it in the stack. I immediately thought that I was going to hate this when I watch it, but again, something to do with the production design, and it just kind of clips along some of the monsters. I'm like Chelsea, like I don't need to watch this every year, but I mean I'll throw it on every couple of years, maybe do a double feature with the first one. Like, yeah, that is fine.
Okay. And Kenneth?
We lost Ken again.
No, I've just been thinking. Like, I've been thinking about this entire podcast. Like, how do I even feel about this movie? And in the end, I think there's only one solution.
Just have another box, and then I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a
Congratulations, Mike can now post this on YouTube for fear of Disney repercussion.
If you want to cut that out, Mike.
I'm not cutting that out. I'm going to amplify it so we can hear it better, but I'm not too worried.
Thank you, Yzma, for saying the words that I couldn't. Fuck this movie. Like, there are some things I like about it, but overall, I think watching it in 3D, really, I shouldn't have done that because it made me have so much more strong feelings about this movie in a negative side than I did the last time I watched this. So don't watch it in 3D, kids. Don't. Just don't.
To be fair, majority of people probably can't. They don't think they sell 3D TVs anymore, do they?
No, they don't.
I remember when I worked at Sam's Club, I sold 3D TVs in 2012. I think it would have been Sam's Club around that time, and they were fucking expensive.
I got mine for like $200 on closeout.
Oh, so you got it near the end. What size is your TV?
42-inch.
A 42-inch, probably around 2012. I feel, had it been like regular price, was probably, depending on the brand, $700, $900 easy. They were expensive as hell.
Really expensive. Up in Canada, we have we have Best Buy now, but it used to be a place called Future Shop. And where it is in our city, it was kind of like, those big box places. So right across it was a store that doesn't exist in the way it did, called Zellers. And I know basically people used to watch cars leave Future Shop and go to Zellers, so then they would break in and steal whatever they bought there. And I had someone a friend of my uncle's had a 3D TV if it got beaten out of his car, like during that time. Like I say, the entry point to most people would have been remember that monitor that Sony made for the PlayStation 3?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like this entry level 3D computer monitor thing.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So there's no 3D TVs, and how you make money off Avatar 2 at home?
You don't.
Huh.
You put it on Disney Plus, and then you get upset when people don't subscribe. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Oh, also one random thing that you just reminded me. I think it was 2011 or 2012, 2013. I can't remember. No, it wasn't 20. It would have been later for me, 2013. And I worked at Shakopee Sam's Club in Minnesota. We had a 70-inch sharp 3D TV. It didn't need 3D glasses. I think it was like $4,000 or something.
Damn.
What the fuck?
It didn't sell, by the way, if you can believe that. Did not
This is a
sell.
giant 3DS.
Man.
I don't think
3D
it needed,
TV
I don't think it
without
needs
the
3D glasses.
glasses.
I remember talking to a guy, and he was like, yeah, we have the technology. It's expensive as hell.
Wow.
Maybe this one had 3D glasses, but I remember the guy talking to the guy. But it was like a $2,000, $3,000 TV, but it was 70-inch sharp and was just so fucking expensive. And it took off a huge end cap. I'm like, why is this even here? I'm not going to sell this.
How does that even work without the glasses?
I don't know, man. 3DS did some wild fucking voodoo shit or something.
I know you can. I mean, I know they have it. I don't know. Probably got to be aimed the right way, and you got to be, you got to probably focus it so you can do it in your one spot.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it's
gotta,
like a 3DS. You have to be looking straight at it, so you couldn't have a watch party.
Yeah.
Could just one person.
Yeah, one
you all sit in
person
a little
watches
line.
at a time.
You have the double-decker couch in the Lego movie.
I love that couch.
I think we should have said everything we need to say about this movie and then some. All right, and Chelsea, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch as Tyrant Cheeks.
And Blair, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter. I don't really do much there anymore because I see it as a waste of time.
It is.
I'm also on Blue Sky. On both, I'm at Blarcade, and you can read my work at comicbookvideogames.com.
All right, and if you want to hear more Silent Hill episodes with most of the same team, just go on Podbean to find all over 500 episodes we've done on this podcast. Type in Silent Hill, you'll find our whole catalog of Silent Hill. Plus, in the show notes will be all the previous Silent Hill episodes too. So click on the links, listen to the episodes, and hear me bitch about Silent Hill one movie 2 times. And then only not bitch about this movie. Weird. So go check all that out. We also do movies, comics, TV shows, all sorts of stuff. So check out our giant catalog. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena and Hell Hasfer. You can follow her on TikTok. You'll see a link in the show notes to all her stuff that she does. Definitely go check her out. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker's Our Home Podcast, A Gamer Looks at 40. You'll see a link in the show notes to his podcast. Definitely go listen to him too. And if you want to support the show, we do a Patreon Little Dog and vote in our Patreon poll. I don't know what it will be at the time that I'm publishing this, so you go see it. It's movies that Mike hasn't seen. I just don't know what the theme will be exactly, but definitely go check that out, and you can help out the show. And we have a Discord. You see a link in the show notes. Please join our Discord and chat with us. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube. But audio only what we are on YouTube. I think that's everything I need to say. We will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.